everybody, I'm Michelle with Birdie Bloom, and today I'm going to talk about this behemoth of a bag, this guy. And this is a Barclay Tote. And if you noticed, it has a turn lock. And we're going to talk about that because there's also a Barclay Tote that had a spring lock. So yeah, let's talk about that. And it's kind of showing up heavily in this video. I got the bag like this. This is Camel with silver nickel hardware. This particular one was made in Mexico. I like Mexico leather. It's very soft, very lovely, but made in Mexico in the year 2000. So yeah, it was one of the newer ones. Camel Barclay Tote, camel tan. And yeah, she is big and she's soft and she's pretty and she's basically a laptop bag. She's a briefcase. She's a bag to take with you to work. And she's popular and they're typically highly priced, but there's a lot out there. So I don't know why they're so highly priced. But maybe there hadn't always been that many available. Either way, we're going to talk about it. So originally the Barclay Tote came and here, I'll show a catalog photo. It looks like it was probably new sometime in 1991. I'm gonna say 1990 to 1991, and the reason for that is I've never seen a catalog. All I have is the holiday 1991 catalog. I don't have that, but that's what I have access to. And it doesn't list the bag new during that season. So educated guess here is I'm going to say it was actually new in 1991, but it's style 6896 Barclay Tote. And as you can see, it has a spring lock, and that spring lock, those can go bad. There's plenty that are not bad, but they can break inside. Causing the spring lock to malfunction. I have a video on how to remove the spring lock, to clean it or to change it. If you want, check that out. But yeah, it's pre-1994. So again, new in 1991, 1990, 1991. Pre-1994, it's always gonna have a random registration number, the Barclay Tote with the spring lock. Yeah, so this bag, again, Barclay Tote, they kept the same name, but they changed the style number. This bag is a 9096. So the original Barclay Tote with the spring lock was a 9896. The newer one with the turn lock was a 9096. So 9896, 9096, very similar. And there are actually a few other differences besides the turn lock. So actually, there might be only one other difference, and that is feet on the bottom. So in 1997, fall of 1997, Coach introduced the 9096 Barclay Tote that had now same shape, same size as the previous one. I think even the same inner divisional pocket. Let me show you that real quick. Because again, this is meant to kind of be like a work bag. This little pocket here, it has a zipper at the top. It has place for pens. That's why you'll sometimes see pen marks on the pocket, but little pocket with some dividers. And then otherwise a big, huge open cavity. Here, I'll take the towel out. It's massive in here. And yeah, structured bottom, but otherwise the bag is pretty like soft and unstructured. So you really need to put stuff in it to keep its form. But if you're putting just a laptop in it or, folders and whatnot, I'm sure if you're taking this to work, you're putting plenty in to help create a shape for it. So, but yeah, in 1997, they introduced this one, and the difference, the turn lock, and they added feet on the bottom. So we're gonna put her on. I do want to talk a little bit more, the fact that Coach, they changed the turn lock, but kind of kept the same style bag, or again, very similar. That's not unusual. Another example would be the binocular bag versus the Nottingham bag. It's the same bag, but one has a spring lock, one has a turn lock. And then another example, and I will talk about that eventually, that bag. But another example is the mini belt bag, which I've talked about. That is the style 9826. And I've talked about that bag. The interesting thing about that, so when Coach, okay, in this case, they changed the style number, right? Kept the same name. It looks like, I don't have a catalog photo that actually shows when the mini belt bag was changed to a turn lock. I don't see that in a catalog photo at all. But if you look online, you can see these belt bags available that made in the early, I think just January actually, of 1997, and then again in 2000. So what it looks like is it probably was brought back in 1997 or changed in 1997, just like the Barclay Tote was in 1997. It was changed probably in 1997. I'm assuming they kept the same name. I can't say that for sure again because I have not seen that in a catalog photo. They didn't keep the same name for the binocular versus the Nottingham. They changed the name totally. But I'm assuming they kept the same name. They definitely kept the same style number because, you know, in 1997, you're going to actually have the style number in the creed, and you see that. So even though I don't have a catalog photo, I do see the proof of the style number being the same. But it looks like maybe 1997 they did it, and then they perhaps stopped making it, and then maybe had a special release in 2000, because then you see them pop back up on the market with the year 2000 in it. I don't see those in the catalog photo either. So yeah, something to think about, but they're a little bit more rare, the turn lock mini belt bag. But I see a lot more for this video. I looked it up because I've looked at them before and looked for them before. This might've been a couple of years ago and I couldn't find any, or maybe like one or two. Now you actually have a decent amount to pick from, and they're really not that pricey. So, I mean, I saw some for like 80 bucks, which is reasonable for the mini belt bag. People like it. It's a popular bag. And I think the turn lock is super cute on it. So keep that in mind. Yeah, you'll hear that term. C is for consistency. It's actually a joke. This is revolving around Coach. When we're talking about people who are authenticating something or looking at something, they might be like, well, why did they do this? And why is it like this? I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies. And so you'll see some people who know this, who know Coach pretty well, who do a lot of authenticating. You'll see them say, C is for consistency, and they're being facetious because Coach was nothing. They were not consistent at all. At least vintage wise, there was no consistency. It's funny. Okay, so I guess that's all I have to say. Oh, I did want to mention my shirt. Okay, so this, you might recognize it if you follow Instagram or if you're in Facebook groups. This is the artwork of Gabby, and her Etsy shop, I think it's called My Funky Camera, and I believe that is also her Instagram. I'm not on Instagram often, but that is her Instagram name as well. And she's like an amazing photographer. She has beautiful work. There's a lot of people on Instagram who take beautiful pictures of vintage Coach bags. She's also in my Facebook group, but yeah, this is her artwork and I love it. There's a lot of rare bags on here, including the boob bag. That's what I'm calling it, which I actually have one of. She just needs a lot of care before her official debut, but I did post a picture of her on in my Facebook group recently. So for National Handbag Day, October 10th. But anyways, so this was a, what do you call it? Like a iron-on type thing. My sister actually has a shirt press thing to like professionally iron on stuff like this. So I had her do it, but these can be ironed on. And yeah, this is like a white shirt. You've probably seen me wear it a lot because I love it, but I also ended up getting grease stains on it, but I love the shirt. It's just this little crop top. It's from like Madewell. And yeah, I just love the shirt. It's comfortable, but I wasn't digging the like oil stains I had on it, even though I was still wearing it. And so I was like, oh, let me like mask it a little bit with this really cool vintage Coach print. So anyways, that was a lot, but that's where this comes from. Not my artwork, that is Gabby's. Okay, so let's try on the Barclay Tote. She is big. You can carry so much in her. Yeah, but that's what it looks like. Does that give you an idea of the size? Some of the catalogs actually have a picture of like a model wearing the Barclay Tote, so that can kind of give you a little size perception as well. But she's comfortable. She has dowel rods on both sides. So she has like the structure on the top and the structure, like this leather lining on the bottom. Her straps are long. She's obviously just a shoulder bag, but yeah. And then just a cute little closure here, whether it be a spring lock or a turn lock. And in this case, it's a turn lock. So again, the newer Barclay Tote from 1997 has feet on the bottom. But yeah, she is, I think, a dressed up work bag, or dressed up briefcase, feminine briefcase. I like all briefcases though, so. All right, well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more Vintage Coach bag talks. And also, if you want to catch other Vintage Coach eye candy, you can join my Facebook group, which is called Vintage Coach Eye Candy. You can post pictures of your bags in a safe place amongst people who are potentially just as obsessed as you are. And you can look at the pictures of other people's collections and, you know, drool if you want, be inspired, whatever. So yeah, all right.